The reality of life in Israel on the West Bank is such that no one really should speak about this part of the world unless they've been there. Because Israel is the only country in the world where you can go on one side of the country, see the other, and know that you're surrounded by neighbours that want to destroy the state in its entirety.
Visiting the region last year and being able to speak with people on the ground on both sides of the conflict provided me with the greatest insight possible into the issues. Israel is an open and liberally democratic country which values freedom of speech, allowing people from all backgrounds and beliefs to express themselves. It is a country which celebrates diversity. You will find churches, mosques and synagogues almost standing side by side. You will see Jews, Muslims and Christians living alongside each other in peaceful coexistence.
UK-Israel trade is at a record high with strong ties in science and technology, cybersecurity and medical science, but terms are currently determined by the EU-Israel Association Agreement. Does my honourable friend agree with me that our vote to leave the EU presents a great opportunity to strengthen cooperation between our countries, and could he update the House on progress in planning and securing a new post-Brexit deal with Israel?
Well, thank you for that question. I think it's important to say that we are taking advantage of all the opportunities that are presented to us to ensure that Britain becomes a truly global leader in free trade once we leave the EU, with not just Israel, but with other countries around the world. This, of course, includes Israel, and building on the strong relationship that we have in areas such as research and development and cybersecurity. For example, we established a UK-Israel tech hub, which creates partnerships between British companies and world-class Israeli innovators.
In recent months, tragically, people in this city and this country have suffered directly at the hands of terrorists. And sadly, the last few years have seen many similar attacks in Israel. Palestinian terrorists have deployed techniques used in recent atrocities here and in other European countries as well. Since September 2015, there have been over 389 stabbings, shootings and car ramming incidents against Israeli citizens.
I thank my right honourable friend for giving way, and she's making some incredibly powerful points. Does she agree with me that there will be no peace deal whilst children are being indoctrinated to hate the Jews and indeed encourage the destruction of the state of Israel? And as you rightly point out, schools being named after terrorists and sports competitions being named after terrorists, it's completely wrong.
Israel is often criticised by its strict border controls with Gaza, and yet Egypt has closed its border completely. Could the Minister update me on any discussions he has had with Egypt around their border with Gaza?
It's an important point. The challenges that Egypt is facing with its own extremism, which Britain is supporting, is something which President Sisi is very conscious of. In the longer term, there will obviously be plans for the border to reopen. Unfortunately, many of the tunnel systems were used to smuggle in to Hamas the equipment that was actually being used against Israel. But I would say that the strength of the relationship between Israel and Egypt is allowing them to coordinate things to make sure that that is curtailed.
There is no other organisation apart from CFI that provides members of Parliament with an opportunity both to come to Israel and hear the different shades of opinion from within Israel itself, but also to meet Palestinians and to hear their point of view too. So as an educational opportunity, it's absolutely invaluable.
When we talk about our countries achieving our aims together, that isn't just for the good of Israel and Britain, it's for the good of the world. When our scientists come together, they're working to cure diseases that affect millions of people. When we work together on our mutual security at the highest level, it makes the world safer. When we increase trade and investment with one another, it brings more opportunities and prosperity to the wider world. It is that collaboration that this organisation, CFI, so wonderfully celebrates and builds upon.